Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. A few days ago I asked you over on my Instagram, it was under this picture right here. I asked you guys to send me any questions that you had, and there are some really good ones. Before we get into the questions, I want to share where my phone case is from. This is actually something I get a lot of questions about. So this is the mirrored case from Casetify. I've actually had this case for about a year and a half. It is my absolute favorite, and I do actually have a code for you guys to use on this exact case if you guys want to get it as well, and the code also applies to all of the cases on Casetify. If you haven't heard of Casetify, they make the most beautiful and protective cases. So they're really slim, but they're engineered with this 2-layer construction of Chi tech, and this technology makes them drop test approved for drops of up to 6.6 feet, which is 2 meters. So you could literally drop this from wherever you're standing. You can see they are really slim. They just look like a normal kind of decorative case, but they're actually very protective. So the quality of these are really, really good. Again, I've had my case for over a year and a half, and I absolutely love it. They also come in tons of different designs, so you can pick your favorite color or print, and you can really match your phone to your style, which I love. You can also add your name or your monogram to any of their custom cases. Plus, what I love is that they now feature an antimicrobial coating, which kills 99% of bacteria, which, I mean, that is so good and so important for these times, especially because our phone can just get so dirty. We're touching it all the time, and it's not something that we really think of cleaning. So I really love that new feature. Plus, they're also made with partially recycled materials, so you can feel really good about your case. It's protective, it's cute, and it's also made sustainably. So if you guys want to try any of their cases, you can go to casetify.com/AnnieJaffrey for 20% off. And again, that applies to this mirrored phone case or any of the cases on their site. I will make sure to have all of the details down below in the description box, along with the link as well. And thanks so much to Casetify for that offer. I know a lot of you guys asked me where this is from, so it's nice that I can now offer you a little code for it. All right, so getting into the questions. One of the most liked questions is, which channel/podcast Instagram accounts are your favorites? What do you consume content-wise? Love you. Love you too. I love this question because I think it's so important to have good, positive things around you, and I am constantly listening to different podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube channels, and I think they can be really, really powerful. Starting with a few of my favorite podcasts. So the Dean Graziosi Show, I love that podcast. I love the way that he communicates his message. He's really clear. He's super inspirational. I'm also reading his book at the moment, which I would highly recommend. Of course, I love the Ed Milet Show. He has both a podcast and he's also on YouTube. Would highly, highly recommend. I love the Him and Her Show by The Skinny Confidential. They are so great, really funny, but very, very smart as well. So I love that one. Super Soul Sunday, of course, Oprah's show. So much inspiration and motivation, and just, I find her podcast just always really grounding and centering and uplifting. And she's just like a fairy godmother that just speaks so much truth. I also love her books. What I Know for Sure is such a great book. And also The Path Made Clear. That's one that I'm listening to on Audible right now. The Feel Good podcast with Kimberly Snyder. That's another really great one. When it comes to Instagram, I love accounts like my girl Sona Gasparian, of course. Melissa Wood Health is another one of my favorites. I've actually really been into Jen Atkins' Instagram lately. She's really great as well. Sammy Clark is another one I enjoy following. I also like to follow accounts that post like uplifting and motivational quotes that just make me feel good and that keep me inspired. But I cannot think of the name of these accounts right now, but I will have a list here so you guys can check those out if you're interested. And then in terms of audiobooks right now, as I said, I'm listening to The Path Made Clear by Oprah Winfrey. Another one that I'm almost done with, which is so good, is Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I started listening to this on Audible, and it was so good that I had to buy the physical book because I love to highlight and make little notes. So when a book is really, really good, I love to get the physical copy so that I can go back and reread it and highlight the parts that I think are really good. So that's definitely one I would recommend. The next question is, what are the best tips that worked for you to improve gut health and digestion? Are there maybe also some yoga/Pilates exercises that could help with that? Anything helps. I love this question as well. I think it's so important to take care of our digestive systems, our gut health. I actually have a whole video on this topic. If you guys want to check that out, it's like a 20-minute video just dedicated to this topic. I'll have it linked down below. But I would say, just top of mind, the thing that helps me the most is to have my little morning routine with my warm water with lemon. That, you guys, it does it for me. Like, it really gets my digestive system going, and it makes me feel so good, so clean, and just fresh first thing in the morning. My digestion and the way that I feel in my stomach is completely different now than what it was a few years ago, again, before I started doing this. Exercise is of course really helpful, because when you move your body, you're also literally moving your digestive tunnels and all the systems inside. So yes, Pilates and yoga can be really helpful, but even just going for walks, there are certain yoga poses and flows that I like to do in the mornings. For example, the cat-cow pose, where you're on all fours and you take a deep breath in and you let your belly fall to the floor. So you kind of arch your back, and then you breathe out and you make a kind of C curve with your spine the opposite direction, and you really try to push all of the air out from your lungs and really contract your abdominals and your core muscles. And this really helps to kind of squeeze the intestines and your whole digestive system. And you do that a couple of times and it feels really, really amazing. And of course, a huge one is of course to eat well. Most of my diet consists of plant-based foods, and those are very rich in fiber and of course in different antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, all of that good stuff. And that is really great for your digestion as well, especially the fiber. And of course, taking a good probiotic as well, so that you're feeding those good gut bacteria. But again, I will have a link for the video that I did on this topic where I go into more detail. I'll have it linked down below if you guys want to check that out. The next question is, will you get married if the pandemic situation doesn't change? That was actually one that had a lot of likes. So yes, we don't want to postpone our wedding anymore, even if that means that it's going to be really small and very intimate and just have a few people. That is fine with us. You know, the whole situation is very sad and unfortunate, but we also know that we're not the only ones dealing with this. It's kind of like everyone. So we're just going to make the most of it. But yeah, we definitely don't want to postpone it anymore. The next question is, Annie, I love your positivity. Do you ever get mad or sad or angry? Because I cannot imagine it. If so, how do you deal with the situation? I would say in general, my nature is quite happy and positive. And I would say I generally have a pretty positive outlook on life, but that doesn't mean that I don't have my moments where I'm definitely frustrated or angry or sad. I am quite an emotional person, and when I feel like I need a good cry, I cry it out. I don't like to keep things inside of me if I can express myself, whether that is through my tears or through journaling or through talking and discussing. I would say I definitely feel things very deeply, so I know that I shouldn't put myself in certain situations. For example, when it comes to simple things like watching TV or the content that I consume in general, I know that what I consume affects me. So I try to avoid certain things like different TV shows and stuff that I know are going to not make me feel so good. I don't like to see people suffering or in pain or being hurt. That literally affects me, and it's just not entertaining to me, and it doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me sleep good, especially if that's something that we watch right before bed. So over the years, I've kind of learned how to not pollute my mind with things that I know are not going to make me feel good, and instead I try to consume positive things and inspiring things and things that teach me something and that help me in my life. And I also try to have different practices and routines and little rituals that I do that help me to prevent myself getting into those difficult situations emotionally or mentally. So you guys know I love my morning routine. I love to move my body. I love to journal. I love to express myself. And meditation, of course, can be so powerful as well. And I think when you have a good habit of doing these things consistently, whether you feel great or you feel bad, but you just know that that is part of your routine that you do, regardless of what's going on around you, it's something that you can always count on as a pillar, as a steady rock in your life that is very grounding, where you can come back to yourself. And I think that helps tremendously as well, just in your day-to-day life outside of just those practices. So even if you feel really great after doing your workout, you're not only going to feel that greatness or that positivity or that high like just after you finish working out. That will go with you throughout your entire day. And the same goes for meditation or for journaling, and just having that time with yourself and getting to know yourself, hearing that inner voice, that higher self. And you are practicing that during your morning routine, but you carry that with you throughout your day, kind of like when you put on a perfume in the morning and it's quite strong, and then you get little whiffs of it during the day, even at like 5 or 6 o'clock. That's the kind of impact that I feel a morning routine has. With that said though, when I am feeling sad or angry, or if I'm just in a funk, I love to go for a walk. I love to listen to music. I love to do a little dance. I've actually brought my morning dances back. You guys might know I started doing that in 2018, and then I kind of went off of it a little bit and just did it kind of like sporadically, but now it's something that I try to do in the mornings before my workout, and that just like lets energy go from your body, kind of like shakes it off. Showers is another thing I'm very passionate about. I love my showers, my bath. I feel like that's also very cleansing, just energetically as well. Of course, you're cleansing like your physical body, but I also find it to be very cleansing like emotionally, spiritually, and that's something that always makes me feel really great as well. So I hope that answers that question. Another question, this was also one that was asked quite a lot, is do you still want to move to Los Angeles in the future? So after we came back from our trip last year, we were in LA for a month and a half, and when we were there, we were looking at different apartments, different houses even, just to kind of get an idea of what we would be able to get if we did move there. So we came back, we were really inspired, and then the pandemic hit and everything really changed for us. Something that we really love and appreciate about Europe, and also just Germany in particular, it's much more organized, I would say, and clean and clear when it comes especially to these kind of pandemic situations. When all of this happened, we just felt like we're really happy to be here in Europe. And that's also why we then decided to look for an apartment here that is a little bit bigger than our old place, because before our plan was to just kind of move from our old apartment directly to LA. But then we knew that that wasn't going to happen, so that's why we started looking here locally for a new place. With that said though, I still love Los Angeles. I know that a lot of people say like it's a lot of fake people there, it's dirty, like quality of life there isn't the best, like that's what a lot of people say, but I still love it. I love the weather. I probably don't love all the people, but the people that I know there, I have some good friends there and they're all just amazing. And I think it's a lot about like who you decide you want to surround yourself with. It's not that like this city that we live in only has great people and people who are super down to earth. So I think that's kind of like everywhere you go, you have the crowd of people that you would fit in with and the crowd that you don't really fit in with, and that's okay. But I guess the biggest thing I love about LA is the fact that it's close to the ocean. I love all the hiking trails there. Of course, the weather is so beautiful. I love the focus on health and wellness. Like there are so many great little restaurants and cafes and smoothie places and all of that, which I just love. But yeah, I really don't know if we'll ever like end up moving there fully after all of this, but definitely spending longer times there like we did earlier last year. I would definitely love to do something like that as well in the future. The next question is, how do you deal with personal problems with Mo, mainly that you're together all the time? I would love to know advice on this too, because I mean, I think as with any relationship, especially now during quarantine, we obviously spend a lot of time together. And something that has actually been really helpful is when we moved into this apartment, it is bigger than our old place. So I like that we can kind of like separate from each other when we need to really focus on our work, or we just need like our own personal space. So I will either be in the office and Mo will be here or at our dining table and working, or, you know, vice versa. I think it's important to not feel like you're sitting on top of each other. But when things do come up, I think it's really important to communicate and express yourself and not hold it on your heart, not like expect the other person to know that you're feeling upset, but really just communicate it so that it's not like weighing you down. Definitely share, be open, say what it is that you need, communicate, set boundaries if you need to. And even though you are sharing a space for a lot of the time, like before, you know, Mo would be going to work. That's another thing that maybe I can share more about in a future video. Him and I did not used to spend 24/7 together. He had a job, and for most of the day he would be out and I would have the apartment to myself, to work, to do whatever I needed. And now it's definitely different. Yeah, let me know if you guys would want me to do a video on that, or maybe I could include it in a vlog or something if you would like to hear how that has changed. The next question is, do you clean your own house? Yes, I feel like I'm a pretty clean person. I have my moments where like my closet will get completely unorganized and messy looking, or, you know, maybe a certain cupboard or something like that in our kitchen. But for the most part, I feel like I'm quite clean and organized. We do have a lady who comes to help us clean once a week, and she's here for a few hours. She does the floors, the windows, she'll iron our bed sheets, and she'll just do like the kind of deeper cleaning work that I don't do on a day-to-day basis, like the oven, and again, the bathrooms, like the shower, the bath, and all of that kind of stuff. And she is literally the most amazing woman ever. I'm always so happy to see her. I love how she makes our apartment feel, and she's been with us for the last like 4 years, so we really love her and trust her, and she's amazing. So I'm very grateful for her. So those are all the questions that I'm going to answer in this video, and thank you to everyone who submitted their questions. I love hearing from you guys. Some of these questions have actually given me ideas for full videos to do, so stay tuned. And again, if you guys like my phone case, I will have a link for it down below, and again, you guys can use the code AnnieJaffrey for 20% off. Also, this beautiful knit that I'm wearing is handmade. It's from a brand called Slavic Atelier. I think that's how you say it. I'll pop in their Instagram here. They are a woman-founded small business. All of their knits are handmade, and they sent this to me as a gift, and I absolutely love it. It is so beautiful and cozy, and the details and just the overall quality is absolutely amazing. I will also have a link for this down below in the description box. I hope that you guys are all having a really nice day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.